I always call JD Edwards is an integration platform. Being a tool set, always had some level of current technology that allows us to interact with various external systems or internal systems in a data-centric way. And because we knew back in 1996 and before that one size wouldn't fit all, we wanted to make sure that it was extendable over time. And I think that's been proven time and time again by Oracle as we see this orchestrator tool and tool set take over some of these places where we've always done other integrations. Now, it doesn't mean that these integrations go away. It just means let's lead with saying, let's solve the problems with Orchestrator. And then if that doesn't, then we can start using some of the other technologies that are baked into JD Edwards as well. All right? And so that's whether we're working with cloud technology, third-party on-premise, the Oracle Edge, such as a Taleo or an ERP cloud, or all the different apps that they're building out there, or just working with some other hosted cloud type services. Right. So I like to put things into kind of a category with the integration that we can do things in really three primary ways: internal, and then a prepackaged to give us a good fourth level of integration capabilities within the platform. So obviously we have third-party applications that get validated and are, can be licensed. Denovo has several of those as well. We can do integration at the user interface and the user experience level. We can do open standards by using web services to make calls out to external systems, have external systems send us data so we can process it. And then we have this whole great area that kind of took off a couple of years ago and has been kind of flatlined over the Internet of Things. So much we can do out there with our clients that have those sensors and gateways and different components that sit in their warehouses and don't talk directly to JD Edwards. We can do all that, and Orchestrator is one of those key tools that will allow us to do that. So again, whether our user experience, our cross-browser look and feel of JD Edwards, whether we're working on a mobile tablet, or whether we actually are using some of those mobile apps out of one of the app stores to do our work. And I always categorize this when I'm giving this to like the computer is my work, the tablet, maybe I'm commuting, I'm on a train if you're on the East Coast or somewhere where you ride the train, and then the mobile app, maybe I'm sitting and watching TV with my wife and I need to approve something real quick, or I'm at the bar having a drink and I don't want my boss to know that, so I can easily approve something.
Which is more
so
likely.
Quite a bit that we have this way to interact at the user experience and do these integrations with maps, with data, with humans. Right? Humans are actually the way we interface. Right? So JD Edwards put out a few years ago their new vision for the UX of this alert, analyze, act. So being able to be alerted when something goes wrong, analyze what you need to analyze, and then act upon that. And that's really key because in the old days, we would go do a lot of querying of our data. We would go in and try to find open purchase orders. We would go in and try to find someone over a credit limit. We would do the mining ourselves, and then we would analyze it, and then we try to build a report, and then we try to give that to our managers. So that goes into what I would say is we're all storytellers. Every one of us in our jobs have to tell stories, and the data helps us tell those stories. No matter who your boss is, you have to tell a story. Even Marty has to tell stories to his boss because that's what we do. We act with the data. And so by giving us this paradigm and giving us these great watch lists that allow us to set up queries to watch the things we would normally go dig for, it's giving us the information, letting us analyze it, and then acting upon that either by fixing it, reporting on it, discrediting it, whatever we're trying to do, quicker, more efficiently. And so it's really, a key component. And to make all this work, under the covers, it's the Application Integration Services Server, which is AIS, which is kind of the core components that Orchestrator depends on. Right? And then we have this rich way to do all these customizations and build our own pages and have it for us, share it with our work groups. We have access anywhere, anytime, really on any device. So I'll move on now into the kind of this open systems integration side. And this slide really goes from the bottom up. So back when we first started, batch processing, everybody could import, export files. That's how we got things into the system. That's how we integrated tons and tons of different processes with external systems, internal systems, spreadsheets, whatever we need to get that data out. And then we moved up the stack and we started having more things that were more real time. So now we have a real-time event that could fire when something happened, like a status change on a work order, and we could use that event to go downstream to another system and do something. We would do that either through, a connector or a batch, or what we call business services, which are just the very first web services that we had. These are all Java-based. You use the JD Edwards tool set, use a framework built around that tool set to build these. You compile them, deploy them, they get deployed to a server, they get available. So there's still that whole life cycle of develop, build it, deploy it, test it, start from square one, right? Rinse and repeat that. And then about 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, they introduced us to the AIS server, which gave us REST and JSON documents over REST, which are human readable documents versus the old XML. And that was great because what that allowed us to do was allow Oracle to build mobile and disconnected mobile apps very, very quickly. As you can see, there's like 90 some plus in the App Store. And then came the IoT revolution, or evolution. It really wasn't a revolution, but the evolution of the next IoT. And they realized that they needed something to kind of sit in between that. And so the Orchestrator was created. And we were one of the first people to help with that, beta testing it and doing the testing. And back in those days, we hand-coded everything that we did there. We didn't have a GUI to do it. We actually set in an editor, and we created XML to do what we wanted to do. And then over time, they realized that this was actually something really, really neat. And so they started hardening it, making it better for integration, not just IoT. And then we added the Studio, or they added the Studio on top of that, which gave us a pane of glass where now we can go in through a browser and we can build different components and let them interact with JD Edwards.